Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Today is Sunday morning. So today I want to do a cup of Java and Palantir. This is a picture mug, so I want to cover the face of my children. But I definitely want to reflect on Palantir, the entire week of Palantir. And today I just like to talk very minimally edited video and just get a couple of things off of my chest, the future possibilities of what's going to happen about Palantir. Is it overvalued, undervalued, or fairly valued? So on and so forth. Okay, Palantir had a really good week. We hit a new 52-week high, just north of $17. The last 52-week high was also north of $17, but we beat it by like a few cents. And we ended up the week nearly at $17, right? Like $16.50 off the top of my head, something like that. So by all metrics, this week was fantastic, and last week was fantastic. Now, as we dip down to right around that $13 or $14 level, I was able to buy an extra 1,000 shares, which I documented and showed all of you guys. This happened right Friday night during this Russian coup. I bought 1,000 shares of Palantir because of that, because I think that anything that ends this Ukrainian-Russian war, whatever you want to define as winning, is going to be very positive for Palantir, and I have many reasons for that. So yeah, we had a really, really good week, and the question is, are we fairly valued, overvalued, or undervalued? And we have earnings call. I think we have earnings in the middle of August, or the beginning of August. I think August 4th, if I'm not mistaken. I'll be filming it live, whatever the date is. And that's going to cover earnings for the second quarter, which ended in June, right? So the first quarter is January, February, March, and then we have April, May, June. And it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen. I want everybody to just understand and don't get their hopes up. The AIP clients for artificial intelligence platform is not going to be here yet. That's going to come in quarter 3 and 4. What we're waiting for in this specific quarter is forward moving projections. We want to know where we're going for quarter 3 and 4. In this quarter, we will get a better idea of how many people are actually adopting AIP. And the name of the game, make no mistake about it, is AIP, the Artificial Intelligence Platform. I filmed a demo the other day of it, and it was freaking amazing. It absolutely shits 100% on ChatGPT. If you did not watch that demo, I'm going to leave a link to it at the end of this video. Definitely check that out. And it's literally the chief architect, I forgot the guy's name, of Palantir, showing you how AIP works. And they have third-party apps that you can integrate. They have interior widgets. They have an AIP assistant that's an actual assistant. It's not some call center in India. No disrespect to anybody, but you guys know what I'm talking about. And they have so many abilities. They have instant charts and flows. It just makes you so good. And from what I see, AIP is an absolute must if you have a big business. And I think the adoption there is definitely going to be there. Raymond James, if I'm not mistaken, or Piper Sandler, one of them actually put out an analysis and raised the price target of Palantir to $18, very similar to Bank of America, $18. And they said that the AIP is going to grow their commercial business essentially by 2. For example, right now we have, let's say, 100 clients for Foundry. By 2025, they were projecting that we're going to have almost a 1-to-1 match of AIP clients to Foundry. What does that mean? They're going to bring in a shit ton of commercial money. Why? In order for you to have AIP for your business, you must first have Palantir Foundry. And with the average contract for Palantir Foundry being just north of $1 million, that's a shit ton of money. However, I believe that a lot of these big businesses are going to adopt AIP. I think that our projections, our forward-moving estimates in this earnings call is going to be really, really good. I don't know how the actual numbers are going to be, but all eyes are going to be in forward projections. That's what people are going to care about. No one's going to care much about these numbers as much as where we're going in the future. Not the present, but the future. So I'm looking forward to that. And I do think that those projections for quarter 3 and 4 are going to be huge. That's 1. 2, we have a huge catalyst coming up. Number 1, the NHS contract, which it's literally our contract, and they're looking for reasons to try to not give it to us. The NHS expanded a temporary contract for 1 year for £25 million, so that the NHS software, NHS data system is not interrupted. And $25 million is all the authority that England had, the NHS, to to do it without public scrutiny, to do it without public approval. They were allowed to do a certain amount. It's our contract to lose. I believe that we're going to get it, and it's going to be absolutely massive to show several things. Number one, $500 million is nothing to laugh at. Number two, that against all adversity, Palantir came out on top. And number three, that we can get past the red tape. It's also going to be huge for the NHS. As you see, there's tons of different examples coming out from Cleveland Clinic and Tampa Hospital and a bunch of other hospitals that we work with, showing that, Palantir actually works. It actually freaking works and solves us time, solves us headache, saves lives, so on and so forth. There's a lot of naysayers, a lot of haters, and if you notice, they only hate on Palantir. Where they at when other people do really bad shit, but they're nowhere to be seen. It's only hate on Palantir because this is an agenda. Make no mistake about it, 100% an agenda. So getting that contract will be absolutely freaking massive. Catalyst one. Catalyst number two, inclusion of the S&P 500. Right now we're over $17 billion of market cap. We need to have 4 positive quarters of GAAP profitability. We already had 2. I'm assuming we're going to have 3 and 4 and 5. I'm assuming we're going to have GAAP profitability. That's it, period. And we're going to get included into S&P 500 at the end of this year. They're going to give us the okay, and then next year we're actually going to be part of it. Why is that important? When you have funds that are investing, like through pension funds and 401ks, they invest in baskets. Okay, I went over this the other day. Baskets, and those baskets have a certain sector that they're investing in. So let's say they're investing in the S&P 500. Well, they're going to put in an X amount of money, and that X amount of money automatically buys a certain amount of shares of those companies to mimic the S&P 500, right? That's the way it works. That's how it happens when you invest in the SPY and the VOO, so on and so forth. Because of that, Palantir is now going to be exposed to a lot of institutional investors that otherwise might not have invested in Palantir directly in the shares of Palantir, which is huge. Kind of like when people invest in ARK ETF and they're investing in many different stocks, you're getting exposure for that specific stock. So that's absolutely huge. And the exposure is not just from like Cathie Wood. The exposure is going to be from like funds that normally wouldn't touch Palantir. That makes sense because we're part of the S&P 500. I believe Tesla went up like 30-40% when they were included in the S&P 500. So this is not a small feat. This is huge. I got to keep covering the mug. I am super cautious about my kids. I don't want anybody seeing their pictures, Facebook, none of that stuff. I'm not a social media guy, believe it or not. As much as I do YouTube and stuff, I didn't really have social media before this. And I think it makes people dumb as fuck, especially our youth. But anyways. And then we have a third catalyst, third major. These are huge catalysts, not small ones, like major events. Ukraine-Russia war ending, which I believe is going to happen in 2024. Now, to define winning, there is no winning. Nobody's going to win. Russia's not going to completely take over Ukraine, and Ukraine is not going to take over Russia. There's just going to be terms of a perceived win for both sides. When that happens, there's going to be a rebuilding of Ukraine. I perceive Ukraine being as big of, if not a bigger market than the United Kingdom's for Palantir. You heard that right. Not because Ukraine has money, but because of all the money that's going to be inflowed into Ukraine, and that's currently happening. So all these people that are like, oh, America's giving them money, American taxpayer money. Yes. It's but that's something called a land lease deal. I might be mispronouncing it. I have a very bad memory when I pronounce terms, but basically, the United Kingdom's only paid back the U.S. after World War II recently, like within the last decade. It took them over 50 years to pay back the United States for the loans that we gave them in the World War II. You think we didn't make interest? You think we didn't, increase our ties and our connections and make money off of this as a government, as a country? Of course we did. And this was going to happen in Ukraine. It's not free. It's not like, hey, here's a gift. You don't have to give us nothing back. No. This is imperialism as its finest. This is imperialism in 2020s. This is how we imperialize now. We don't have to put boots on the ground. This is not Afghanistan and Iraq. Shout out to all my military servicemen and women. This is different. This is the way we do it now. So those are three major catalysts. And then we have the short-term small catalysts with a lot of partnerships. Notice that there's not a lot of partnerships that are currently being announced, which is very, very interesting. I think they're keeping everything on the hush-hush. But there is a lot of announcements of Palantir upping the game of a lot of companies that are using Palantir, specifically in the medical field, which is interesting. Remember, 2 years ago, Palantir was non-existent in the medical field, and now 13% of United States hospital beds are being run on Palantir software. And 10% of U.S. revenue, or approximately like $34 million or so, is coming from the medical field. That's huge. That's not small potatoes. This is big, you know? And we're just going to expand on that footprint, in my personal opinion. Now, they did make a massive, massive hire. I forgot what the guy's name was, but he was essentially in charge of AI and data in the Pentagon. He went to go work for Palantir now. Palantir's board, Palantir's Federal Advisory Board, Palantir's C-level executives, and Palantir's upper medium management, which is like also higher ups, but not like Shyam Sankar or Wendy, like right below maybe. Massive. This guy is huge. He's a huge freaking name, and he's leaving Pentagon to go work for Palantir. It's not a coincidence, guys. This is one of the ways that Palantir gets to, you know, for Palantir being an outsider, and it was so hard for them to get into working with the DoD, they are entrenched, and it's almost impossible for you to get in with the level of clout that Palantir has, because Palantir keeps, you know, extracting resources, and those resources are working for Palantir. And then those resources open up the door for Palantir to go work with the departments that they were literally heading. And guess who? The person that they put in power before they left the department is the person that they're speaking to between the private and public sector. It's huge. One other thing. There was the AIP demo. I filmed it live on my channel. As I said, I'm going to leave a link to that video at the end of this one, which you should definitely watch just to understand the power of it. And one thing that Palantir said is, during this AI craze, a lot of people became AI experts, riding the wave, literally, you know, jock riding artificial intelligence. But now everybody's backtracking. Palantir never did that. Palantir always had the technology. They just rewrapped all of the tech that they already had. They put a bow on it and they said, hey, this is AIP. And they didn't just give a minimum viable product. They gave a fucking kick-ass product that they did a full convention on. And it worked. Now, all these companies that said they have AI in concept, but in actuality they can't provide it, where are they now? PowerPoints and Excel. This is what Palantir always says about 5 years ahead, and this is what Dr. Alex Karp says our competitor is Roach.com. That's what he means by this, that people are full of shit, and they can't actually deliver. They just, you know, hot air, making fake bullshit promises, while Palantir delivers. And not only are they doing that, they say, hey, how about we do demos for the next 6 weeks up until earnings. Interesting, right? So I think they're setting up for earnings call that they're going to say, hey, we have so much interest in AIP that we signed up this many clients, or we have a deposit for this many clients. And the reason, that's why I think they're doing 6 weeks of demos right up until earnings call. This is what I believe is happening, because they want to absolutely justify the price of Palantir. And they need something big to justify the price of nearly $17 a share. Honestly, if they come out with the earnings that they had last quarter, it's probably not going to, you know, justify this. But if they surpass it, or at least match it, and forward projections, that's what we're looking at, the forward projections. I will probably be filming it live. I'll probably be doing it on Amit's channel again. There's too many of us YouTubers covering Palantir that everyone should do it, and we'd rather just, you know, coordinate. I'm sure Arnie's going to be filming it live as well. He has a fantastic channel. Tom Nash is going to be filming it live, I'm assuming, as well. And, you know, there's going to be many options of you guys that you guys can watch the Palantir earnings. What else about Palantir? Yeah, man, Palantir's been absolutely kicking ass. The charts are looking good. I have a really bomb-ass options play that I shared with my group. And literally in the last 3 weeks, that options play is up like nearly 60%. I share it with my channel members. My channel members are the ones that buy me these gracious cups of coffee that I have to cover, and I appreciate it. If you want to be channel members, I will have a link down below. I'll also have a link to my Twitter. I'll also have a link to Jesse Dow's Twitter. Support this guy. He gives us so much free information. And if you guys like technical analysis, I have been doing a lot of technical analysis, and Palantir is above the 20-day moving average, which is short-term bullish. They are breaking the triangle of support and resistance on the upside, and they're well above the 50-day moving average, the 100-day moving average, and 200-day moving average, which means they are bullish in the immediate term, they are bullish in the short term, they are bullish in the midterm, and they are bullish in the long term. However, this can all change if we have bad numbers. But if we have good numbers, it means that we are set up for the stratosphere. That's what it means, right? Technical analysis is, tea leaves, as Jesse says it. It just means that if we get good news, we're going to take off because we're primed for takeoff. As opposed to if we had really shitty numbers and we were below all of these and we have good news, we might not take off. We'll just have a good day. Does that make sense? So the euphoria is in the air for Palantir. All the numbers, all of the charts, all the data is there. We just need to deliver with the numbers, and then we're going to go to the next level of over $20. Maybe we're going to hit past $20 before that even. Who knows? We'll see. Guys, thank you so much. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. And I hope you enjoyed these type of kind of like Palantir and a couple of Java type videos and just letting me speak off the top of my head. Very minimally edited. I got rain outside. I got my fan over here. I'm in the gazebo. I got my plants over here, which is really, really cool. I'm about to play with my son. It's my nephew's birthday. Shout out to my nephew Mordecai. He's 18 years old. He becomes a man today. I bought him some cryptocurrency. I'm going to add to his cryptocurrency today as his birthday present. And I'm going to enjoy the day with my family. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys are doing today. What did you guys do yesterday? I was at the Children's Museum. And what else? Yeah, man, that's about it. I'm feeling really, really good. I love talking to mofos. And have a good day. Bye-bye.